I'm just going to give an update of what I am currently reading, which is not super exciting, but that's what I like to do. I am currently taking a writing class that is based around this book. Basically, Patricia Ryan Madsen takes all of the main tenets of performing improv and applies them to your life and makes you think about how you're living. And it's really, really interesting and really, really hard. This is the sort of book that's really thin and I could blow through in like a day, but we're not. We're like reading one chapter a week for the past like 2 months. She has some like cool important things to say, insights, and if you're into like that sort of how to improve your life books, which I'm not usually, but it was what the class was based on, so I bought it and I'm reading it. I think it's really interesting, especially because I knew vaguely about most of these rules of improv, like yes and thinking about them not in terms of performing on a stage. It's really interesting. So over my spring break, which was like 3 weeks ago, I started reading One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It was a book that was supposed to be really good and it had been on my list for a long time, and started reading it. I didn't really care about it, so then it sat on my bedside table for like 3 weeks, and Easter break just happened, so I finished it on the bus home to Chicago for Easter break. But yeah, I didn't really care about it. I don't know, like I don't have any strong opinions about it, I just never cared. Didn't feel like it was an important story to me. I don't have this book with me right now, but after I finished reading One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I read This Star Won't Go Out, the book by Esther Earl, who was such an awesome nerd fighter who died a few years ago of cancer at the age of 16, and was friends with John Green and did awesome things in Nerdviteria. Her book was beautiful. It's made up of a lot of compilations of like her journal entries and other people writing about their experiences with her and their friendships with her and her family's letters and blog posts about their experience going through her life. It's not all about cancer, it's all about Esther, who was a life, you know, not a death. I just started reading Lolita in Tehran. I've not read Lolita or been to Tehran, but I'm super interested in like women's education in the Middle East. Only just started it like a third of the way through, so I'm withholding judgment, but it's combining books and the Middle East and women and all the things I like. So far, so good. True story, I also recently read this book, The Light of Baha'u'llah. Baha'u'llah is like the leader, head person at the center of the Baha'i faith. I've just decided, but I was really annoyed because it's just sort of like an independently published thing, I guess, because it's not on Goodreads, so I can't count it towards my Goodreads challenge. I have a long list of what I'm going to read next. I am going to read a book called The Greatest Prayer, which is about the Our Father and has a chapter on every line. Yep. And then I'm going to read Ellen DeGeneres' book, and then I'm going to read Mindy Kaling's book, and then I'm going to read a book called Walking on Water by Madeleine L'Engle about spirituality, and then I'm going to finish reading Lemony Snicket's Who Could That Be at This Hour. There's a picture book I need to read that I can't remember the name of, and then I need to read Quiet, a book about introversion and introverts and how we're awesome. And that's my reading list right now. And I need to reread The Fault in Our Stars before the movie comes out.